Chapter 1631, Verdant Sun Flame Cloak. Chapter 1631, Verdant Sun Flame Cloak. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Fang Yuan's incomplete Immortal Gu house did not excel in defense. After it was struck, it broke apart. Fang Yuan and the rest quickly defended themselves inside the Immortal Gu house. A huge amount of flames moved like poisonous snakes and burned all of the Gu worms in their way, before they gathered towards Fang Yuan in an encircling movement. Fang Yuan shouted as he used Immortal Killer move Winter Coat. His body was immediately covered by a layer of snow-white frost. The frost not only protected him, at this crucial moment, it spread out and protected the Time Path clone, He Lu Lan, Ing Wu Xie, Bai Ning Bing, and the rest. In this regard, Winter Coat was better than Reverse Flow Protection Seal. Because Reverse Flow Protection Seal only defended himself, it could not help others, but Winter Coat was able to affect other people. Winter Coat Killer move blocked the Fire Snake's attacks, but at the next moment, the old man on the Stone Lotus Island shouted, "By the power of flames, snakes turn into dragons." Whoosh! The flames burst out with incredible heat, the snakes coiled around each other, turning into a huge flame dragon that was 100 feet long, possessing huge claws and fangs. The bright red flame dragon slashed through Winter Coat before charging at Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan wanted to open his Immortal Aperture's entrance to store the Immortals back in his aperture, but this Fire Snake Killer move actually had a variation. With the old man's deep experience, Fang Yuan had no time for that. The flame dragon opened its mouth as it soared down from above. Fang Yuan and the rest looked up as their faces were red from the light of the flames. The intense heat felt like it was going to grill them alive. Bai Ning Bing, He Lu Lan, and the rest all revealed looks of despair on their faces. This flame dragon was not an ordinary rank 8 killer move, it had extraordinary power. Even Bai Ning Bing's Bai Xiang killer move could not escape from it. Their only hope was Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan's ears, nose, and eyes were bleeding. Winter Coat Killer move was broken. Fang Yuan suffered a rank 8 killer move backlash. A large number of Mortal Gu were killed. Thankfully his core Immortal Gu were still alive. They were damaged but still usable. Fang Yuan was in a difficult situation. The Time Path clone, Bai Ning Bing, He Lu Lan, and the rest were behind him. Their cultivation level was too low, they could not block the flame dragon. If they had the incomplete Immortal Gu house, they could still participate in the fight, but the old man was too perceptive. He destroyed the incomplete Immortal Gu house from the start. If Fang Yuan stayed and protected them, not only did he have no good methods now that Winter Coat was broken, even if he did, it would be too dangerous. Because the other party wanted to force Fang Yuan to fight them, once he protects them and fights, the old man's plan would succeed. Fang Yuan was almost certain that the other party still had killer moves prepared. Once Fang Yuan fights with the flame dragon, the old man would grasp the tempo of the battle, he would control the battle's flow from now on. Instantly, Fang Yuan made up his mind, he moved out like lightning, dodging the flame dragon. The old man laughed frenziedly, a true demon indeed. Then burned to death. The flame dragon ignored Fang Yuan, it charged down. Fang Yuan snorted coldly, he turned around and attacked the old man. The old man diverted his gaze at Fang Yuan, seeing that he was approaching, the old man smiled and revealed a sinister expression. Fang Yuan's heart sank, he attacked so that the old man would divert attention to defend himself, but the old man was similarly courageous and did not fear a frontal assault. Most possibly, he still had arrangements on this Stone Lotus Island, he was extremely confident. Fang Yuan stretched out his finger, his hard work over the last few months had not been in vain. Spring Scissors was unleashed and shot towards the old man. The scissors was very sharp, but when it landed on the old man, his hair started to burn as it turned into a flame cloak, protecting him all around and blocking Spring Scissors. Ha ha ha, I named this move Verdant Sun Flame Cloak. I made it from the inspiration I gained from Verdant Great Sun's flame hair from the Legends of Renzu. It is my proudest creation. To speak the truth, even though I am a Fire Path Gu immortal, I am more skilled in defense than offense. Not just Spring Scissors, even Summer Fan is useless against me. The old man laughed loudly. But at the next moment, the old man's smile faded. It turned out that the flame dragon had returned empty-handed, be it Fang Yuan's time path clone, by Ning Bing, He Lu Lan, or others, they were still alive. The old man's eyelids twitched, he licked his dry lips as he said darkly, "This is a dream realm." It turned out that while Fang Yuan dodged the flame dragon, he did not abandon his clone or the other Gu immortals, he had ordered Xianxia to self-detonate at the crucial moment. After the 5 regional mountain range, Xianxia had changed bodies, using a body with the pure dream reality seeker physique again. Precisely because of the dream path Dao marks on the pure dream reality seeker physique, he was able to use lead soul into dream and successfully affect rank 8 Gu immortal Jun Shengguang. Now that the pure dream reality seeker physique body self-detonated, Xianxia's soul was trapped in the dream realm. The other immortals were very close to him, they were covered by the dream realm. With the manifestation of the dream realm, all other paths could not affect it. The old man's flame dragon had great power, but against the illusory dream realm, it was useless. "Humph, you are truly a scheming demon, but you will die today." The old man stomped his feet, flying up into the sky as the stone lotus island below him scattered into dust and sand. The old man wore a flame cloak as he approached Fang Yuan like a blazing meteor. Spring scissors followed after him as it attacked, but the flames defended against them and the old man was completely unharmed. Fang Yuan flew backwards as he used summer fan. Intense winds blew, the old man's flame cloak was flickering, but it seemed like the fire was growing with the wind, becoming even larger. The old man smiled as he exposed his sharp teeth, "How about that? My verdant sun flame cloak is unparalleled, have you felt despair yet? Ha ha ha." Like what the old man has said, summer fan and spring scissors were useless against verdant sun flame cloak. Not only that, as they got closer, an intense feeling of drunkenness assaulted Fang Yuan. But soon, Fang Yuan used his wisdom path killer move and regained clarity in his mind. Verdant sun flame cloak not only contained the extreme profundity of fire path, it also mimicked the effects of human path and food path. As the old man got closer to him, the greater the feeling of drunkenness would be. Fang Yuan tried his best to retreat, wanting to pull some distance from the old man, but against his wishes, the enemy's speed surpassed him by quite a bit. "Demon, you are trapped in the formation, where can you run to? Obediently accept your death," the old man shouted. Earlier, the stone lotus island was merely an illusion, its true essence was a super time path immortal formation set up in the river of time. This formation was very powerful, even Fang Yuan could not notice it. As it activated now, a formation space was created, Fang Yuan was trapped inside, restricting him from using omnidirectional travel, fixed immortal travel, and other similar methods. Fang Yuan had used a time path formation earlier to ambush Southern Border's righteous path. Now, Heavenly Court did the same against Fang Yuan. But Heavenly Court put in much more effort than Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan could not create such a time path formation in the river of time. With his current strength, he could only create a time path immortal formation near a tributary of the river of time in the outside world. Even for time path great experts in history, few could create immortal formations inside the river of time. The person who could achieve this to the limit was Red Lotus Demon Venerable. This person had already surpassed the realms of time path immortal formations, he could directly create artificial secluded domains of heaven and earth, stone lotus islands, to influence segments of the river of time and take control of it. Heavenly Court had been looking for the stone lotus islands and had yet to find one, but they were not without gains. This time path immortal formation was one of their achievements. The formation restricted Fang Yuan, making him unable to evade or dodge. The old man got closer, Fang Yuan snorted, instead of retreating, he charged at the old man. The old man was slightly surprised, but he quickly reacted as he waved his hands, sending waves of flames towards Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan had no fear, he rammed forward. The huge flames reversed and went back to attack the old man. It was the immortal killer move, reverse flow protection seal. The old man was a little flustered, he defended against his own killer move, but at this moment, Fang Yuan had already arrived in front of him. Fang Yuan was ruthless, he slammed his body into the old man. Reverse flow protection seal against verdant sun flame cloak. At the next moment, Fang Yuan and the old man both flew backwards. They were nearly evenly matched in this contest. The old man had lost by a slight bit, but soon, his flame cloak burned again as he returned to his peak condition. Reverse Flow Protection Seal was extremely effective against attacks. But Verdant Sun Flame Cloak was a defensive killer move. The reflected damage was quite little. This is Reverse Flow Protection Seal. Heh, he found out so quickly. The old man's gaze flickered eerily. It turned out that this time path immortal formation created an isolated inner formation space. There was a core effect. It was that this environment weakened time path. Heavenly Court's original intention was to use this formation to deal with the Stone Lotus Islands of Red Lotus True Inheritance. These islands were artificially created time path secluded domains of heaven and earth. Once the formation encapsulates them, they would be weakened. Precisely so, Fang Yuan's Spring Scissors and Summer Fan killer moves were so ineffective against Verdant Sun Flame Cloak. Verdant Sun Flame Cloak was very powerful indeed. It was the peak creation of Fire Path, and even extended to contain the profundities of Human Path and Food Path. Comment. In terms of intricacy, Reverse Flow Protection Seal was very roughly made and straightforward. In contrast, Myriad Self comprised both Enslavement Path and Strength Path. It was on par with Verdant Sun Flame Cloak in this aspect. Summer Fan and Spring Scissors were ordinary. They only contained rank 8 Immortal Gu and were amplified by Time Path Dao marks to gain such great power. They could not break Verdant Sun Flame Cloak but could have caused great damage. Yet in this environment, they had a mild effect. Fang Yuan realized this and daringly dispelled Winter Coat, instead using Reverse Flow Protection Seal to regain his footing in the battle. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1632, You Lied. Chapter 1632, You Lied. 2. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Immortal Killer Move, Myriad Dragon. Howl. At once, myriad dragons flew in a sea of silvery scales, attacking the old man like a tidal wave. After understanding the effect of the time path formation, Fang Yuan gave up on his strongest time path methods. He started to use other methods. In this aspect, Fang Yuan had many useful methods comparatively. The old man snorted, showing no surprise on his face. Before coming here, he had already made ample preparation. He knew about Fang Yuan's Myriad Dragon killer move. Slippery eels, what can they do to me? The old man stood arrogantly in the sky. Instead of dodging, he watched as the myriad dragons approached him. His Verdant Sun Flame Cloak was blazing, his entire body was covered, resembling a huge fireball. The myriad dragons appeared before the old man, but they started to screech weirdly. The sword dragons were all drowsy as they randomly flew around. Their ferocious attacks had been stopped. When each sword dragon's drunkenness got to a certain level, they would start to blaze up with a loud sound. The sword dragons turned into a pile of flames before rapidly vanishing. Looking at the field, the old man was unmoving while the myriad dragons burned to death. Even though there were countless dragons, the moment they got close to the old man, they died. They were of no threat to him. Immortal Killer Move Verdant Sun Flame Cloak. Fang Yuan's pupils shrunk. He finally saw the power of this move. It was both offensive and defensive. It was a counter to Fang Yuan's Myriad Dragon killer move. Then let's try Luo Pasil. Fang Yuan thought to himself. He had already used familiar face to disguise as a sword dragon. He blended into the army of dragons, getting closer to the old man. Next, he pretended to be drunk as he got closer and unleashed Luo Pasil. Fang Yuan got exposed when the killer move had just activated. Luo Pasil's aura was too great, it could not be hidden. The old man's gaze shot like lightning as he charged at Fang Yuan without fearing Luo Pasil. Boom boom boom. The old man attacked Fang Yuan in a frenzy, but reverse flow protection seal kept him safe. Fang Yuan did not speak. he endured the old man's attacks until Luo Pasil was finally ready to strike. The old man was on guard now. The situation was not good for Fang Yuan. Eventually, he barely managed to use Luo Pasil, but it scraped past the old man's shoulder, only half landing. The old man immediately felt a sense of emptiness in his heart. At the same time, the blazing cloak on his back weakened by 40%. This move is amazing, but it cannot break my verdant sun flame cloak. The old man laughed loudly as he retreated, using methods to heal himself. His speed was faster than Fang Yuan. It was hard to land consecutive hits on him. The old man found time to catch a breather despite having the disadvantage. A moment later, his injuries healed mostly and his aura regained its peak state. The verdant sun flame cloak also started to blaze up again. Luo Pasil had terrifying might, but the old man was very alert. He did not give Fang Yuan any more chances. His verdant sun flame cloak's defenses were superb. Fang Yuan could sense that in battle, it was like how his enemies felt when facing reverse flow protection seal. This old man's soul is not his weakness. Even though he only grazed past him, Fang Yuan obtained valuable intel. Luo Pasil was targeted at the enemy's soul, but this old man was an experienced rank 8 Gu immortal with deep foundations. He did not have any evident weaknesses. His soul's defense was quite tight. Fang Yuan estimated that even if Luo Pasil hit directly, it could not kill the old man in one move. Luo Pasil had to be paired with Lead Soul into Dream to deal with Heavenly Court's rank 8 Gu immortals. But at the start of the battle, the old man destroyed Fang Yuan's incomplete immortal Gu house, causing Ying Wuxia and the rest to slumber in the dream realm. If the incomplete immortal Gu house was still around, Fang Yuan would have Ying Wuxia's lead soul into Dream to help him. He would have the advantage against this old man. But the old man had ambushed and destroyed the incomplete immortal Gu house. Not only were Fang Yuan's losses severe, he lost his initiative and was kept on the back foot for a long time. This situation was naturally very dangerous for Fang Yuan. He had fallen into an ambush. He had to escape quickly. Immortal Killer Move, Myriad Dragon. Fang Yuan continued to activate Myriad Dragon as more sword dragons filled this formation space. The old man had the advantage, but he did not relax his mind or become careless. He squinted a little as Fang Yuan hid among the sword dragons again. At this time, should he use an investigative method to find Fang Yuan or eliminate these sword dragons first? If he did not kill Fang Yuan, there would be an endless stream of sword dragons. But the old man had clear awareness. He thought, I'm afraid my investigative method cannot expose familiar face. Fang Yuan is so crafty, he must have other plans. The old man had the initiative now. He spoke arrogantly and wildly, but his mind was extremely calm and composed. He knew that when opponents of his and Fang Yuan's level fight, with such rich battle experience on both sides, even though he had the initiative now and could hold the advantage, if he made a mistake, Fang Yuan would turn the situation around. The old man roared as flames started to burn around, spreading out like a sea of fire. The sword dragons melted in candles within the flame. The old man's decision made Fang Yuan quite troubled. He hesitated for a while before persisting with his tactic. He controlled the myriad dragons to charge at the formation space. This formation was clearly controlled by Central Continent Gu immortals. Seeing that the myriad dragons were attacking, they wanted to retaliate, but the old man quickly transmitted to them, don't move. Fang Yuan has very high time path and wisdom path attainment levels. The more the formation activates, the more flaws he will notice. I will handle these eels, don't be anxious. The old man did not want to give Fang Yuan any chances. The sea of fire killed the sword dragons at a rapid rate. Fang Yuan smiled coldly. He suddenly appeared in front of the dream realm. Immortal Killer Move, Pure Dream Reality Seeker Transformation. He quickly gathered the dream realm and turned the lump of dream realm into a pure dream reality seeker physique body. Oh no, this demon is so scheming. The old man's expression changed. Fang Yuan used many feints and tactics. It was hard to see through his plans after all. Fang Yuan opened a sliver of his immortal aperture's entrance. wanting to send the Time Path clone, in Wu Xie's soul, He Lu Lan, and Bai Ning Bing inside. 1. But at this moment, the old man screamed angrily behind him, "Demon, forget about it." Boom! A killer move was used, bursting out with immense strength and sound. Fang Yuan felt a chill. He did not need to turn around to know that this move was the old man's strongest offensive method. "I won't make it." Fang Yuan did not have enough time to react, his heart sank to rock bottom. At the crucial moment, he went all out. His Time Path killer move was used as the time around suddenly became faster. He placed the immortals into the immortal aperture, and at the same time, he felt like a giant had landed a punch on his back. The huge force sent him flying like a cannonball. He lost 15% of reverse flow river's water. The impact made Fang Yuan's head dizzy. He directly spat out a mouthful of blood. He was only able to save a portion of them. Fairy Miao Yin could not be reached. She was still unconscious earlier. After being engulfed in the huge flames, she was burned to ashes. Not a bit of her body remained. Fang Yuan shouted loudly as he used Myriad Dragon, charging around the place, while he started to act and destroy the formation. The old man was a bit nervous now. He started to attack Fang Yuan. But Fang Yuan had reverse flow protection seal to defend him. He ignored the old man and only targeted the formation. "Fang Yuan, don't think of getting out, that is merely a delusion." The old man roared as his flames engulfed Fang Yuan. "Ha ha, you are simply struggling at death's door." The old man got behind Fang Yuan and slammed them on his back like two huge tablets. Fang Yuan was sent flying. Fang Yuan was bleeding from all 7 orifices. It was quite a pathetic sight, yet his eyes were still cold as ice. He continued to attack the Time Path formation. "It is useless. How can you break such an amazing formation? Look at your reverse flow river, it is about to be fully expended." The old man mocked. He attacked with greater intensity. Killing intent surged as he behaved in a frenzied manner. Even though reverse flow river could reflect attacks, the old man also had his verdant sun flame cloak. He endured the reflected attacks as he continued to expend the reverse flow river water. He was not wrong. Fang Yuan's reverse flow river had gone through many battles. A lot of it was used up already. As he continued to attack, the river water level fell. Fang Yuan's robe also started to become thin and flimsy. Suddenly, Fang Yuan roared as he stopped attacking, preparing Luo Put seal again. The old man's pupils shrunk, his attacks changed. He started to prepare his defenses against Luo Put seal. Fang Yuan completed the preparation as he flicked his palm. Instead of attacking the old man, he shot it towards a corner of the formation. Guh. With a shocked voice, a rank 7 Gu immortal controlling the formation was hit by Luo Put seal. He died on the spot. How? The other central continent Gu immortals were also shocked and lost for words. Fang Yuan was able to find a formation core in such a short time and kill the person inside. Luo Put seal was very powerful even against rank 8 Gu immortals, not to mention these rank 7s. "Quick, that formation core has been destroyed, quickly move and fix the hole." A Gu immortal shouted. On the other end, the old man grunted as he attacked Fang Yuan again. Fang Yuan used the extremely depleted reverse flow protection seal to defend himself while attacking the formation himself. With many of his methods used, Heavenly Court's meticulously created Time Path immortal formation collapsed area by area. It could not hold up against Fang Yuan's unraveling. How can this be? Fang Yuan's speed of deduction was extremely shocking to everyone. "Quick, over there!" someone shouted. A loophole formed in the formation, connecting with the outside world. Fang Yuan laughed heartily. "Bye. You cannot leave." Flames swept over, turning into the old man. He hid the loophole behind himself desperately. The other central continent Gu immortals also let out a sigh of relief. But Fang Yuan shot out like an arrow towards the old man, saying coldly with deep killing intent, "Get lost." The old man snickered. "It is useless, you cannot deal with my verdant sun flame cloak." The distance between them shrunk. Central Continent's Gu immortals quickly changed their formation. Someone shouted, "Block Fong Yuan, we only need 5 breaths of time to change the formation." This is a complete change, it would be 10 times as difficult as before to deduce it afterwards. The old man scoffed, "Not just 5 breaths, even if, His eyes suddenly widened, his face turned stiff, he looked at Fong Yuan's killer move preparation with deep disbelief. Fong Yuan's aura was completely concealed, not a bit leaked out. He clapped both hands together in front of his chest. Next, his right hand which was in contact with his left hand moved, it was like he was trying to pull out something precious, as his right palm slowly clenched into a fist. Afterwards, his left hand was still at the original position, but his tightly clenched right fist was lifted, above his chest and shoulder, above his head, until it was fixed right above his head. This move is. The old man no longer smiled, there was nervousness in his eyes and even some fear. Indeed, this was the immortal killer move, 5-finger fist heart sword. Time passed, at the first breath. First finger. Fong Yuan had a cold expression as he raised the thumb of his right hand. From the right fist that he held high in the air, a sword light shot out. Fast. 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 The speed of the sword light was beyond belief. The moment it was shot out, it pierced the old man's forehead. The old man shuddered, the flames on the verdant sun flame cloak on his body weakened by half. Second breath. Second finger. The old man reacted, he roared as the verdant sun flame cloak started blazing again. But the sword light landed again, weakening the verdant sun flame cloak. Third breath. Third finger. The old man's expression turned pale, he wanted to grit his teeth, the verdant sun flame cloak on his back had expanded like a fireball, earlier it was the size of a horse carriage, but now it was the size of a house. The old man roared, "This is the peak condition of my verdant sun flame cloak. Come, your attacks cannot break through." The moment he said that, the sword light landed as the verdant sun flame cloak burst like a balloon, it returned to its former condition. 5-finger fist heart sword got stronger as it progressed. Fourth breath, fourth finger. The old man desperately blocked the fourth sword, his expression was pale, he took a huge step back, verdant sun flame cloak was like a flickering candle, it was extremely thin now. Fifth breath. Fong Yuan snickered, "What cloak, it is laughable. Li Huang, you can start preparing your funeral. It is over, the fifth sword." The old man's heart jumped, his eyes were filled with terror, "No, Bo Qing, don't even dream of killing me." The flame blazed, he turned into dozens of figures as he flew in all directions. Fong Yuan ignored him, he flew outside the loophole, escaping into the river of time. He had just flown out when the time path formation changed completely, the earlier loopholes were fixed, it had become whole again, securely locking the formation space inside. But Fong Yuan had already escaped, the time path formation was completely silent inside. The Central Continent Gu immortals controlling the formation were all dumbfounded. The flame clones dissipated slowly, until only the old man's main body remained. At this moment, his face was flushing red and white, anger, fear, humiliation, hatred, and killing intent, they filled his heart entirely, turning his expression distorted and filled with terrifying hatred. Suddenly, the old man raised his head and roared. There was no fifth sword. 1. Fong Yuan. You lied. 1. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1633, Cutting Edge Slays Enemies. Chapter 1633, Cutting Edge Slays Enemies. 1. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. After a tough battle of brains and brawn, Fong Yuan finally got out of Heavenly Court's ambush and escaped into the river of time. Once he left the formation, Fang Yuan felt the difficulty of using reverse flow protection seal rays by several times. He quickly stopped it and changed to the time path killer move Winter Coat. Immortal killer move, familiar face. At the next moment, Fang Yuan turned into an immemorial year beast. Because he had transformed in the river of time, transformation path was also greatly suppressed. Even though he managed to use the move, his immortal essence expenditure was tens of times as much as usual. Thankfully, familiar face's core was Attitude Gu, it only expended mental energy. Thus, on the whole, familiar face used very little immortal essence. Fang Yuan could sustain it. Plop. Fang Yuan turned into an immemorial year snake as he went into the river of time, slithering away. We are finally out of the encirclement, escaping the time path formation. Fang Yuan felt a little glad. The earlier situation was quite dangerous. The longer it dragged on, the more tight Heavenly Court's defenses would be, and the lower chances Fang Yuan would have of survival. This time, there were two reasons why he could escape. Firstly, Fang Yuan had made the time path clone use the light of wisdom to break the formation. Because of the light of wisdom, Fang Yuan's wisdom path abilities far exceeded Heavenly Court's imagination, he could catch them off guard. Secondly, he used Five-Finger Fist Heart Sword. Fang Yuan had rank 8 cultivation level, with his own white lychee immortal essence, he could use Wisdom Sword Immortal Gu. This Immortal Gu was one of the core of Five-Finger Fist Heart Sword to begin with, thus, Fang Yuan could use the fourth sword of Five-Finger Fist Heart Sword. This was his current limit. To use the fifth sword, he would need other core sword path Immortal Gu. I expended a lot of rank 8 immortal essence. Fang Yuan inspected his immortal aperture, his immortal essence storage had fallen to a dangerous level. Even though Fang Yuan's sovereign immortal aperture had a fast time flow and could accumulate white lychee immortal essence rapidly, he had gone through fierce battles consecutively, especially earlier against the old man Li Huang. He had expended a lot when breaking out of the time path formation. I should escape first. In this situation, Fang Yuan only had one thought. This was the wisest decision, a frontal face-off was the most stupid idea. Fang Yuan, where are you going? An angry growl could be heard behind him. Fang Yuan turned around and his heart jumped. 3 immortal Gu houses were chasing after him with threatening auras. The left one was Eternal Yacht, it was tall and rode with the wind. On the deck, rank 8 Gu immortal Qinyi, the rank 7 Gu immortals for Xuanxia and others were standing with a righteous aura. The middle one was 3 autumn yellow crane platform, it was elegant and grand, the orange roof resembled cranes with their wings spread out. The immortal Gu house was radiating 3 layers of autumn light, it was quite extraordinary. The right one was shark flow lever, the huge lever was white like jade, a rank 8 Gu immortal was standing on it, he wore a suit of blue star armor and had a rough appearance. There were 7 huge sharks in front of the lever, they had sharp teeth and were dragging the huge lever ahead. 3 rank 7 immortal Gu houses, at least 3 rank 8 Gu immortals, with many rank 7 Gu immortals. Fang Yuan's heart continued to sink, at this moment, he could see Heavenly Court's huge determination to get rid of him. Even though Fang Yuan became an immemorial year snake, his speed was not fast. With the destruction of the incomplete immortal Gu house, he could not conceal himself. Both sides continued to shrink in distance, the 3 immortal Gu houses attacked from afar. Fang Yuan used Autumn Perception Killer move as eyes seemed to grow on his back, he managed to evade agilely. If he could not dodge, he would use Winter Coat to endure the attacks forcefully. Winter Coat was amplified in the River of Time, together with Fang Yuan's time path Dao marks, it displayed incredible defensive power, even though it was not as amazing as Reverse Flow Protection Seal, it was on par with it here. This cannot go on. The situation was getting worse, Fang Yuan tried to find a solution. Luo Pa Seal took a long time to activate, in the River of Time, the duration would be even longer, and the overall strength would be weaker. Heavenly Court would be fully on guard against him, he could not rely on Luo Pa Seal to turn the situation around. Myriad Self, Myriad Dragon, Strength Path Giant Hand, Emperor Yama, and others, they were the same. Fang Yuan could only rely on summer fan, spring scissors, and other time path methods. But the three immortal Gu houses after Fang Yuan were strong as fortresses. Spring scissors and summer fan were unable to do anything to them. As they continued to fight, Fang Yuan's immortal essence storage fell continuously. The situation was getting worse. Heavenly Court chased after Fang Yuan with rising morale. Their expressions were very optimistic. Suddenly, at the river ahead, a change occurred. Huge fountains were starting to burst out. Oh no, this is the sudden spring river segment. This demon excels in luck path. He has incredible luck. He is very hard to kill. As expected, something occurred here. Follow him, don't let him escape. Heavenly Court side shouted, showing nervous expressions on their faces. Fang Yuan dived into the sudden spring river segment. The sudden springs were very dangerous. They carried the might of time path. If the scale was large enough, they would definitely be able to take the lives of rank 8 Gu immortals. In most situations, Fang Yuan would avoid them, but now, this sudden spring river segment was his hope of escaping. The immemorial year snake slithered in the river. Sudden springs erupted around Fang Yuan time and time again, but they were not much of an obstacle for him. Fang Yuan had luck inspection immortal Gu, while the sovereign immortal body had non-conflicting Dao marks. He could evidently sense that his luck was falling rapidly. Luck path usually could not be sensed, but at this moment, it displayed its incredible power. Read more chapter on novel full. Heavenly Court's three immortal Gu houses had a hard time chasing him. The moment they entered the sudden spring river segment, Eternal Yacht and 3 Autumn Yellow Crane platform were hit by sudden springs immediately, pushed up forcefully. They spent a lot of effort to dive down. Even Shark Flow lever was hit. Fang Yuan often encountered rank 6 or 7 level small to mid-sized sudden springs, while Heavenly Court faced rank 8 level big sudden springs. Even though Fang Yuan met many obstacles and was often obstructed by the sudden springs, Heavenly Court's group was more like a bunch of sick people climbing a mountain. Their encounters were clearly contrasted. Heavenly Court's members had dark expressions. They felt deeply vexed, wanting to spit blood in anger. It seems that Feng Jiu is not part of the group. Fang Yuan had a realization. In the Battle of Xianxia, Fang Yuan saw how strong Feng Jiu's luck was. He could not suppress the latter. If he was here, Heavenly Court would not face such troubles now. Without much danger, Fang Yuan managed to get out of the sudden spring river segment. Behind him, Shark Flow lever and 3 Autumn Yellow Crane platform were already far behind. Only Eternal Yacht could barely catch up with him. It had left the sudden spring river segment as well. Without obstacles now, Eternal Yacht's speed rose. It reduced the distance between Fang Yuan and itself. I cannot escape like this. Fang Yuan's eyes shined with lightning. He made up his mind and stopped to face the enemy. Seeing that Fang Yuan was not escaping, Eternal Yacht's Gu immortals were overjoyed, but soon, they exposed wary expressions full of alertness. Sun Guozi shouted, "Everyone, be careful, the demon is fighting instead of running, he must have some vicious plans." She had just spoken when Fang Yuan's killer move activated. Immortal killer move, time cutting edge. This move was still rank 7 level, but Fang Yuan's time path Dao marks amplified it to 100 times of its power. At the same time, it was inside the river of time. Its power rose to nearly rank 8. At once, the leader, rank 8 Gu immortal Qingyi, sensed a fatal threat. His hair was standing on ends, his heart shrunk as he quickly dodged. But time cutting edge was too fast, even faster than 5-finger fist heart sword. The moment Fang Yuan used it, it had already reached Qingyi. Eternal Yacht had its defenses of course, but time cutting edge was thin as paper. It easily penetrated it. Isn't this move lost in history? How can he use it? Am I going to die here? Instantly, Qingyi was filled with shock as he fell into deep despair. Let me. At the dangerous moment, Sun Guozi jumped out, standing in front of Qingyi. Crack. Sun Guozi's body shook intensely. She was hit by time cutting edge. Her eyes stared widely as she fell down on the deck. Huff huff. Qin Yi breathed roughly, he was covered in sweat, having barely kept his life. Sun Guizi. Qin Ye's expression was pale as he showed a deeply moved expression. The other three Xuanzi looked at each other with calm expressions. They thought, Sun Guizi blocked the blade for Qin Yi and died for him, it was definitely worth it to gain the favor of this rank 8 Gu immortal. Lord Qin Yi, don't worry about it. We have a unique method to revive our sister. Shang Xuanzi smiled and expressed his sincerity. But Qin Yi shook his head, showing a grim expression, I can somewhat understand the profundities behind your method. I am afraid it will not work this time. The three Xuanzi were shocked, they asked, Lord, what do you mean? Please explain it to us. This is Bo Clan's killer move, it had once threatened the whole of Central Continent, it is called Time Cutting Edge. Qin Yi said with a complex expression, unable to conceal his fear. 1. What? There is such a move. The three Xuanzi's expressions changed, they all started to tremble as they became fearful and panicky, no longer as calm as before. No, impossible, isn't this move gone already? Shang Xuanzi shook his head, refusing to believe Qin Yi. But the truth is so, stop chasing him. Qin Yi breathed in deeply with a pale expression. Lord! The remaining rank 7 Gu immortals shouted, Fang Yuan was right in front of them, it was a great chance to kill this demon, they would gain an incredible amount of contribution credits. If they let him go, they would definitely be reprimanded and punished. But Qin Yi made up his mind. Among the 3 immortal Gu houses, Eternal Yacht is the fastest but has the weakest defense. You've all seen how Time Cutting Edge could not be blocked. If we pursue him, as long as Fang Yuan kills us one by one, he will gain this Eternal Yacht instead. Plus, even though I have a phantom aperture, you all have a lifetime of accumulation, we cannot give them all to this demon. If at this moment, other than Eternal Yacht, the other immortal Gu houses were around, Qin Yi might pursue him. But right now, if they chased after him, there would not be any chance of victory. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1634, Attack and Defend. Chapter 1634, Attack and Defend. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Huff. Fang Yuan let out a breath of air and suddenly opened his eyes. This was an underground cave, there were dim flames lighting the walls, creating a natural formation. Even though it was not strong, it could alert him. Fang Yuan was ambushed by Heavenly Court in the River of Time, he had fought desperately for a way out after an intense struggle. After getting away from Qin Yi and the rest, Fang Yuan followed the tributary of the River of Time and got to the outside world of Southern Border. Southern Border was the headquarters of Shadow Sect. Purple Mountain True Monarch had set up many eerie fire caves at many locations. Fang Yuan used fixed immortal travel to randomly go into one and rest, recovering from the fight. Even though he had reverse flow protection seal, he was not using it the entire time, he had to rely on Winter Coat. Let alone the battle with Li Huang, just during his escape, Fang Yuan was hit by the 3 immortal Gu houses multiple times, his injuries were not light. Fang Yuan inspected his sovereign immortal body before standing up slowly. After a few days of recovery, he had already healed. Most importantly, because the sovereign immortal body had non-conflicting Dao marks, his healing effects were very effective. His rank 8 white lychee immortal essence had also increased, but it was still in the red zone. Fang Yuan paced around in the cave with his arms behind his back. While considering the situation, his frown got deeper. This time, he had suffered greatly in the River of Time. It was no exaggeration to say that he had barely survived. Fang Yuan did not feel much fear or joy, such a case was within his expectations. Heavenly Court's foundation was simply too deep. Fang Yuan's growth was simply nothing compared to the long history of Heavenly Court. With such immense foundation, they only had to put in some effort to give Fang Yuan huge problems. The battle in the River of Time was a good affirmation to this. Earlier, Fang Yuan had an advantage against Heavenly Court, it was because he sneak attacked and caught them unprepared. Because he was able to stay hidden, Heavenly Court could not do anything. Fang Yuan had always been exerting all his effort and using all his time to grow stronger and make Heavenly Court's plans fail each time. But as Heavenly Court learned more about Fang Yuan, they placed more emphasis on him. When it finally came to a frontal assault, Fang Yuan's strength was just too little. Heavenly Court was not just strong in foundation, the biggest advantage was their unified mindset. Southern Border's righteous path also had immense strength, but all of the clans were focused on their individual benefits. They could not effectively deal with Fang Yuan. But Heavenly Court had always been pressuring Fang Yuan. If not for his schemes and plots, any other demonic path Gu immortal would have been captured or killed already. As time passes, Heavenly Court's arrangements in the River of Time would get more elaborate. The chances of getting Red Lotus true inheritance would become slimmer. Against such a strong enemy, what could Fang Yuan do? I have expended almost all of my white lychee immortal essence. Reverse Flow River also has barely any water. Li Huang expended too much of it, I can't use it anymore. Unlike Dang Hun Mountain and Luopa Valley, which had rank 9 killer move orderly well and could be repaired using landscape as before rapidly, Reverse Flow River was very different. Fang Yuan did not lack the methods to restore it, but any method would incur huge costs. For the foreseeable future, Fang Yuan would not be able to use his reverse flow protection seal anymore. 1. Even without reverse flow protection seal, Fang Yuan had gotten to rank 8 and obtained Xianxia's methods. On the whole, his strength had still risen by quite a lot. But this time, I exposed too many methods. Immemorial Year Beasts, Spring Scissors, Summer Fan, and other killer moves were exposed. They were part of Fang Yuan's plan. But the reveal of Time Cutting Edge was truly a shame. There was no choice. In that battle, if Fang Yuan did not use this method, he might have died already. But I am not without gains. Fang Yuan also managed to probe Heavenly Court's foundation. They had a mysterious method to cause the resonance of Spring-Autumn Cicada. Fang Yuan had not expected this. But now, thinking about it, Fang Yuan could understand that the time path formation in ambush was not targeted at him, but Red Lotus True Inheritance instead. And Spring-Autumn Cicada was the key to opening Red Lotus True Inheritance. How could Heavenly Court not research Red Lotus True Inheritance using Spring-Autumn Cicada as the starting point? Even though they could not refine Spring-Autumn Cicada, they could mimic it to a great extent. Li Huang, Qin Yi. New rank 8 Gu immortals showed up. Heavenly Court ruled Central Continent and could take in rank 8 Gu immortals from the 10 great ancient sects as new members. From time to time, a few experienced experts would wake up from the immortal graveyard. Having been created since the remote antiquity era, all the way until now, nobody knew how deep Heavenly Court's foundation truly was. Precisely with such foundations, during the 500 years of Fang Yuan's previous life, Heavenly Court ruled Central Continent and fought against 4 other regions. For a long time, they held the advantage and even many super clans were destroyed. Perhaps because of this, even though Spectral Soul managed to defy heaven, he did not dare to attack Heavenly Court directly. He continued to lurk and infiltrate it slowly. And those 3 immortal Gu houses, no, the one I destroyed earlier did not lose many immortal Gu. Even if they were destroyed, Heavenly Court could still refine it. I am afraid that next time, I will have to face 4 or more immortal Gu houses. Rank 8 Time Path Gu immortals were not easily found, even for Heavenly Court. But Time Path Immortal Gu houses could be assembled using parts of other Immortal Gu houses, or using Immortal Gu that various Gu immortals had in their possession or inventory. After assembling these Time Path Immortal Gu houses, Heavenly Court could place a large number of Gu immortals from different paths inside, allowing them to seal off the entire River of Time. Any plan of luring the enemy away would not work. Heavenly Court was the #1 grotto heaven in the 5 regions, there was no concerns over its safety. Even if Fang Yuan attacked Heavenly Court directly, not only would he be unable to find the entrance, even if he got in, he would incur Heavenly Court's wrath. A few rank 8 great experts from the immortal graveyard could wake up and take his life. And if Fang Yuan attacked the 10 great ancient sects, he would not be able to topple Heavenly Court's rule either, and it was extremely risky to do so. After all, they had the Wisdom Path great expert Fairy Zi Wei. Fang Yuan's gaze was cold as ice. He knew clearly that to find Red Lotus True Inheritance, he would need to face off against Heavenly Court. The more defenses Heavenly Court placed in the River of Time, the more important Red Lotus' true inheritance was, and the greater Feng Yuan's hope to destroy Fate Gu rested in it. I need to be fast. Heavenly Court had all sorts of methods, they might find Red Lotus' true inheritance before him. Thus, he needed to get past their layers of defense into the Stone Lotus Island before Heavenly Court succeeds, and obtain the most crucial things left by Red Lotus Demon Venerable. As for what they were, Feng Yuan had no idea, even Heavenly Court might not know. Guarding the River of Time was an open scheme by Heavenly Court, because they had the tactical advantage, they were not afraid that Feng Yuan would not come. Fate Gu was about to recover, Feng Yuan needed to get past Heavenly Court and obtain Red Lotus' true inheritance to have a chance of destroying Fate. Even if he had to take huge risks, even if he had to risk his life, even though there was an ambush, he had to go. There are no special tactics or shortcuts, I need to raise my strength and continue to grow, surpassing Heavenly Court's defenses to break through these obstacles and obtain Red Lotus' true inheritance. Once Feng Yuan achieves this goal, he would have the qualification and ability to continue challenging Heavenly Court. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1635 Logistics. Chapter 1635 Logistics. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Inside the Sovereign Immortal Aperture. Mini Western Desert. All the surroundings were covered in a snow-white color. Feng Yuan's time path clone traveled here as he grabbed a handful of sand, looking at it. The sand particles were all clear as crystal or ice, having a feeling of coldness in them. Right now, the skies were bright and sunny. Mini Western Desert was quite a warm place, but this desert was very cool and refreshing. Feng Yuan's clone put a bit of snow-white sand into his mouth. After his saliva came into contact, it melted and gave off a salty taste. This was salt sand. In human history, salt sand had a very long story. A million years ago, during the Olden Antiquity era, even though humans created Heavenly Court, the other four regions were still filled with strong variant human forces. They enslaved and suppressed humanity. In Western Desert, there was a human city. It was ostracized and suppressed by the variant humans. The variant humans joined up and pretended to be bandits, robbing all of the caravans that tried to head to the human city. As time passed, the human city lacked essential resources and was slowly unable to survive. The human city lord feared for the safety of his people. He had to seek help from a variant human group, marrying his beloved daughter to them in exchange for peace. The city lord's daughter knew what was more important. For the sake of the humans in the city, she sacrificed herself. The group soon set off from the city, escorted by the human city lord himself. While traveling in the desert, they met an old man who had fainted. The old man was heavily injured and was on the verge of death. His entire body was covered in abscesses. The smell was repulsive. The city lord saw that he was a human. He quickly saved him and gave the old man some clean water. The old man woke up slowly. He said to the city lord, "Oh city lord, since you saved me, why don't you provide me some more help? Give me your robe and steed so that I can leave on my own." The city lord's subordinates started to laugh. The clothes were so precious, how could they give them to such a lowly beggar? But the city lord waved his hand. The value of a robe cannot match a person's life. I have other clothes with me, you can have this. But my steed can only be ridden by a strong Gu master. If I give it to you, I will be causing you harm. Saying so, the city lord gave his robe as well as a large amount of water and food to the old man. Next, the city lord ordered his men to bring over a mild-tempered camel to the old man. The old man sighed deeply. "City lord, I have long heard of your kind reputation, it is truly not a lie. Since you want to do a good deed, why don't you help me fully? The abscesses on my back have been troubling me for years. Only a virgin girl who is born in the Een year, Een month and Een day 1 can heal me by using her mouth to burst them. Just as the old man said that, the city lord's subordinates started to rebuke in anger. They wanted to kill this old man. The city lord was a little angry, because everyone knew that his daughter was a virgin girl born in the Een year, Een month and Een day. The city lord said, "Old man, stop making fun of me. Even though I am a city lord, I am also a pitiful father. I love my daughter, but I have no choice but to send her to the vicious feathermen, and let her become their slave concubine. Father, if my sacrifice can save the entire city, I will accept that fate." At this time, the city lord's daughter arrived. The clamor had drawn her attention. She understood the situation from the description of others. She walked towards the old man as she nodded, "Old sir, let me see your abscesses." "You are willing to heal my injury?" the old man asked. "Yes. Even though I am the city lord's daughter and everyone says I am of noble blood, how noble can I truly be?" The city lord's daughter smiled bitterly. "Only when the entire human race is noble can our statuses truly rise. I have no hope left. I am going to be a slave concubine of the variant humans. In that case, why shouldn't I save you? We humans are too weak now. The recovery of one person is better than nothing." The city lord and the others heard her words and felt very moved. They did not stop her. The abscesses on the old man's back were ugly and disgusting. They were filled with pus and had an overbearing smell. People would want to puke upon seeing them. The city lord's daughter was slightly dazed, but she held in her disgust and used her teeth to burst the abscesses on the old man's back. Once they burst, a white-silver liquid flowed out. The liquid landed on the desert and emitted a thick fragrant smell, making the caravan group feel refreshed mentally. The old man's body vanished, only his voice was left. He said, "O city lord, you are a person worthy of my help. Humans cannot just rely on Gu immortals. You Gu masters are the hope of the future. I will entrust this desert to you. Make good use of it." The city lord and the rest realized at this moment, the old man was a human Gu immortal. They quickly knelt on the ground. And this desert was changed by the white-silver liquid, becoming the snow-white salt sand. After obtaining this huge desert, the city lord sold the salt sand as edible salt. He did not lack revenue and managed to revive his city, becoming stronger in time. Currently, salt sand was no longer a unique product of Western Desert. It was available in all 5 regions. Feng Yuan's sovereign immortal aperture had salt sand too. He had obtained it from annexing a southern border Gu immortal's immortal aperture. After inspecting it, Feng Yuan's clone gained a deeper understanding of the desert. He returned in satisfaction. Right now in Treasure Yellow Heaven, Heavenly Court has started to sell silver dragon fish. They must have gotten the method to produce it from spectral soul. In time, golden dragon fish will also appear in the market. Feng Yuan's dragonfish business was feeling a huge impact. In the short term, because he had obtained immense market share, his dragonfish still provided huge profits. But he definitely would gradually lose his profits to Heavenly Court. But it was not a problem. After annexing the southern border immortals, the sovereign immortal aperture had gained over 10 blessed lands, and even a grotto heaven. Forget about salt sand, it was an ordinary Gu material. But he gained a lot of immortal material resources. There were at least 5 to 6 resource points that could match the dragonfish business. Xianxia Grotto Heaven's Year Essence Pool was one of them. Thus, Feng Yuan was still earning a lot of profits. His immortal essence stones were accumulating at a faster pace than before. Due to his development in the past, he did not lack any food production for the feeding of his immortal Gu. Even though he obtained some immortal Gu as loot from battle, he also obtained the respective Gu immortals' immortal apertures. He completely moved their resource points over to himself. The feeding of immortal Gu still has some flaws, but that is not an issue. The Time Path clone looked at the salt sand desert one last time before using fixed immortal travel. 1. This salt sand desert was the second last resource point that he visited. At the next moment, Feng Yuan's clone went to City Well. Inside City Well, there was already a sizable group of hairy men. These hairy men were obtained from the immortal apertures of the southern border Gu immortals. Almost all of them had a certain number of hairy men raised to refine mortal Gu. Hairy man slaves were the most popular ones in Treasure Yellow Heaven. Fang Yuan gathered the hairy men in all these immortal apertures and placed them into city well to live. Currently, raising hairy men was most helpful to Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan gave some dream path gu recipes as well as cultivation methods to these hairy men. Their task was to enter their own dream realms and gather dream path materials to refine dream path mortal gu for Fang Yuan's use. Fang Yuan's Unravel Dream Killer move expended a lot of dream path mortal gu. Earlier, Fang Yuan was exploring dream realms and used up all of his accumulated dream path mortal gu. If not for these hairy men refining dream path mortal gu to replenish his supply, Fang Yuan might not have been able to explore all of his dream realms. Fang Yuan's clone came to City Well as the sky turned dark. Even though there was no sun or moon, it seemed to be evening currently. After Fang Yuan became rank 8, the Blessed Land became a grotto heaven. It had astronomical changes now. Because the sovereign immortal aperture had a lot of time path resources, the changes was very precise, almost like the 5 regions. Fang Yuan's clone was about to find out the situation of the hairy men when his body froze. A bright light flashed across his eyes. The main body has already found the location of the 5 Xiang seal. Fang Yuan rested in his eerie fire cave for a while before leaving and going to White Heaven. His immortal aperture was well operated, the logistics were clear and orderly, he did not need to waste time in recuperating, his immortal essence storage rose continuously. He did not want to waste time, he headed to White Heaven immediately. Right now, the 5 Xiang seal was opening, the ancient bet was undergoing again. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1636, Demon King. Chapter 1636, Demon King. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Immemorial White Heaven. A tall gatehouse suddenly emerged in the sky that was originally empty. The gatehouse had a tall roof and 2 statues at the side of the gate. There was a huge plaque above the gate, writing the words, 5 Xiang's bed entrance. The entire gatehouse seemed to be made of bronze, it radiated a majestic aura. Initially, it was only a phantom image, but as time passed, it became solid and clearer. Qi clan had 6 Gu immortals in total, they were all standing outside the gatehouse now, waiting for it to materialize entirely. 1. The leader was an old Gu immortal, he had a thin body but strong spirits, his eyes radiated with brilliance, he stood up straight like a spear. He was Qi clan's first supreme elder Qi Fa. On his left was Qi clan's second supreme elder Qi Kai, he stroked his beard as he said, I have experienced many openings of the seal, but this time, I feel very impatient, I almost cannot wait. Third supreme elder Qi Jin laughed, this bet has been going on for thousands of years, we are finally going to end it today. As descendants of Qi clan, we can proudly face our ancestors, we are the eventual victors of this bet. As they spoke, the gatehouse formed fully, a huge area of clouds gathered to hold up this gatehouse. The doors started to shine in 5 colors, representing the strength of the 5 Xiangs. First, red light shined down, causing the clouds to turn bright red. This was Xiang Shui clan, because they cultivated blood path, they had been wiped out. Thus, after the red light shined around the place, it faded away. Next was yellow light. It was Qi Xiang's Qi clan, even though they had descendants, because they lived in the immortal apertures of their ancestors and did not work hard, they were living like livestock, not a single Gu immortal emerged from among them. Next, a brown light appeared. Ni Xiang's Ni clan had Gu immortals in the past, even though the numbers were small, they were all elites. Especially Ni Air, someone deduced that his refinement path attainment level was at the point of quasi-supreme grandmaster. He was the one who fused immortal Gu into the bloodline of Ni clan members, he wanted to assist his descendants but right now, Ni clan's villages were controlled by Qi clan, they could not win. 1. After the brown light came white light. Our turn. Qi Kai became very alert, he could not wait anymore. Let's go. Qi Fa said with a firm tone, he led the 4 Gu immortals behind him as they went to the gatehouse, bathing in the white light. The white light flickered for a moment as it got stronger, sweeping around the 5 Qi Clan Gu Immortals' bodies as it returned to its original intensity, continuing to shine. 1. But Qi Clan's Gu Immortals were all here already. Without any additional descendant of Qi Xiang, the white light faded away. There was a white light spiraling above the heads of the 5 Qi Clan Gu Immortals. They had passed the test of the 5 Xiang seal, they were qualified to enter for the bet. Bai Clan is the last one. Qi Jin spoke, unable to conceal his nervousness. Qi Clan's Gu Immortals were all above the clouds, they had not entered the door yet, they were alert and looked around. They knew of the existence of Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing had inherited Bai Xiang Grotto Heaven, she even learned the immortal killer move Bai Xiang, displaying great power in a few battles. Heavenly Court had exposed intel on Fang Yuan, that involved the Shadow Sect members as well. Even though Bai Ningbing was not part of Shadow Sect, her information was also exposed. Even though Qi Clan was secluded and did not mix with the circles of Gu Immortals, they still had their collection of information regarding the outside world. Blue light shined for a while but nobody showed up, it was about to weaken and fade away. Qi Kai let out a breath of air, good, Bai Ningbing did not show up. Our Qi Kai will definitely win. He had just spoken when 2 figures approached at a rapid speed, in the blink of an eye, they arrived in front of the gatehouse. Qi Clan's Gu Immortals looked over and saw a boy and a girl. The girl had silvery hair that flowed down to her waist. Her pale blue dragon eyes emitting a cold aura to the outside world. Her skin was white as snow, her expression was cold, her beauty was simply divine. And the most eye-catching thing was the pair of small coral-like dragon horns on her forehead. Seeing this female immortal, Qi Clan's Gu Immortals all thought of a name, Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing came after all, damn it. Who is that beside her? Qi Jin first noticed Bai Ningbing before turning his gaze towards the other Gu Immortal. This Gu Immortal was a young man with similarly long hair that was black and smooth, he had a sharp and tall nose, his face was extremely exquisite, his eyes were deep like the abyss, resembling the darkness that existed since the beginning of time, able to devour anything in its way. Seeing this young-looking Gu Immortal, Qi Jin shook like he had been hit by lightning, his heart turned cold, he gulped as he said in a hoarse voice with great difficulty, Fang Yuan. He was already the most composed one, the Qi Clan Gu Immortals around him were shaking, their legs were trembling as they had sweat pouring down their foreheads. Bai Ningbing was Fang Yuan's henchman, the 5 regions Gu Immortals knew that. If Bai Ningbing appeared and participated in the 5 Xiang's bet, Fang Yuan was likely to come too. Qi Clan had known this and were mentally prepared for it before coming here. However, when Fang Yuan truly appeared in front of them, they found that their mental preparations were all in vain. Fear, panic, chaos, all sorts of emotions filled their hearts, they felt like they had fallen into an icy river. This was Fang Yuan. He had been reborn using Spring-Autumn Cicada. Refining an immortal Gu on 3 Kings Mountain as immortal, snatching Hu immortal blessed land from the central continent 10 great ancient sects. He went to northern plains and destroyed 88 true Yang building, nobody knew how great his gains were. He inherited a true inheritance of thieving heaven and cooperated with Xianxia blessed land and the other variant humans, becoming a traitor of humans. He disguised as Wu Yi and deceived Wu Yong like a fool. During the Dream Realm battle, he toyed with the entire righteous path of Southern Border and became the leader of Shadow Sect. Southern Border's righteous path chased after him and Heavenly Court hunted him, but he remained free and got stronger and stronger. At the regional wall, he fought against the rank 8 Gu Immortal Thunder Ghost True Monarch as a rank 7 and pummeled her, leading to a fall in Heavenly Court's reputation. When Xianxia blessed land was invaded by Heavenly Court, he stole fixed immortal travel and left freely. Several months ago, he ambushed Southern Border's righteous path and kidnapped many Southern Border Gu Immortals, extorting all the super forces. Not long ago, Heavenly Court had distributed the intel in Treasure Yellow Heaven, the battle in the River of Time had been exposed. The entire world of the 5 regions was shocked. Fang Yuan had become a rank 8 Gu Immortal silently, obtaining killer moves like Spring Scissors, Summer Fan, and 5-Finger Fist Heart Sword, most amazingly, he even had the long-lost method, Time Cutting Edge. Seeing that his intel was exposed, Fang Yuan returned the favor and exposed all of Heavenly Court's methods as well. The Gu immortal world was in a huge commotion. Heavenly Court's foundation and methods were shocking. But the scarier thing was, Fang Yuan managed to escape regardless. Heavenly Court had set up a super time path formation in the River of Time. There were multiple rank 8s and many immortal Gu houses, but they could not do anything to Fang Yuan. Even though Fang Yuan lost, in fact running away like a dog, after this battle was exposed, his reputation soared and left a deep impression in everyone's hearts. Not only because of his schemes and ferocity, but also due to his opponent being Heavenly Court. It was created since the remote antiquity era, Heavenly Court, which had 3 million years of history and had withstood the multiple invasions of various demon venerables, the #1 human force created since the beginning of human history. After so long, this Heavenly Court could actually do nothing to a demonic path Gu immortal. 1. This was a really rarely seen situation. Even throughout the entire history of Heavenly Court, it was rarely seen. Countless Gu immortals and super forces were watching, waiting to see how Heavenly Court would capture Fang Yuan. How long could Fang Yuan really last? Because of all these emotions, Fang Yuan's reputation was at its peak. Rank 7 Fang Yuan could resist rank 8. Rank 8 Fang Yuan was the king of demonic immortals, shaking the world. 1. He had grown like a shooting star, the speed was simply unthinkable. This meteor was currently like the blazing sun, he was bright and dazzling, countless people could not even look up at him. Demon King Fang Yuan. 1. Qi Clan's Gu immortals started trembling even more fiercely. Fang Yuan's mere entrance had already intimidated all these people. His demonic might was unstoppable. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1637, He Cheated. Chapter 1637, He Cheated. 1. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Everyone, don't panic. Chi Fa said in a dry voice. His tall body was like a bamboo in the wind, wavering slightly. Nobody laughed. Qi Clan had 3 rank 7 and 2 rank 6 Gu immortals, they were not Fang Yuan's match even if they joined up. They were meat on the chopping block, they were completely defenseless. After Chi Fa spoke, he mustered his courage and continued, "We have already obtained the acknowledgement of the gatehouse, we can explore that grotto heaven, we are also protected by the gatehouse. If Fang Yuan wants to kill us, he will need to pass the gatehouse, but if he destroys it, he will break the rules of the bet and would not reach the other side." Chi Fa's words calmed everyone down. Fang Yuan looked at Chi Fa with slight surprise as he smiled, praising, "He is quite smart." Chi Fa's words were said to Qi Clan's Gu immortals, but was also meant for Fang Yuan. Qi Clan was able to become the eventual winner of the 5 Xiangs bet, it was not without reason. These last years, Qi Clan had developed while suppressing or enslaving the other 4 clans, they also kept a low profile and hid themselves deeply. Even Southern Border's righteous path did not know or attempt to find the 5 Xiangs treasure, this was due to Qi Clan's abilities. But no matter how amazing they were, against Fang Yuan, they were doomed to fail. Fang Yuan's smile was terrifying in their eyes, his pearly white teeth were like sharp daggers aiming at them. Fang Yuan took a look at Qi Clan's Gu immortals before looking over at Bai Ningbing. Both of them had already negotiated earlier, Bai Ningbing nodded at Fang Yuan before flying towards the gatehouse. Qi Clan's Gu immortals were slightly stirred, but they could do nothing but watch. Once Bai Ningbing entered the blue light, this icy light shook for a moment before stabilizing. Fang Yuan nodded to himself, he was afraid earlier that Bai Ningbing's Dragonman status would affect it, after all, Dragonmen were variant humans and were not traditional humans. But now, it seemed that the gatehouse only cared about Bai Ningbing's bloodline, regardless of her status as human or variant human. After a few breaths of time, Bai Ningbing gained the acknowledgement of the gatehouse and was sent up into the clouds by a formless and mild force. Qi Clan's Gu immortals had flickering gazes, they all showed a look of regret. It seems that Bai Ningbing is not under Fang Yuan's enslavement, otherwise, the gatehouse would not acknowledge her. It is a pity. Damn it, Bai Ningbing was allowed to enter the world beyond the gatehouse too. Bai Ningbing was found by old man Xianxia last time, but she was never enslaved, all they did was cooperate. After joining Fang Yuan, Bai Ningbing was not targeted by Fang Yuan's enslavement methods either. This was all due to this gatehouse. Bai Ningbing landed on the cloud and inspected the area, before saying to Fang Yuan, getting onto the clouds would be the same as getting the gatehouse's acknowledgement, Gu immortals cannot fight each other here. Okay. A bright light flashed in Fang Yuan's eyes, seeing his following actions, Qi Clan's Gu immortals all gasped in shock. Fang Yuan actually flew towards the blue light. The blue light flickered for a moment before stabilizing. Even though Fang Yuan was in his original appearance, he had activated Immortal Killer move Familiar Face already. He had modified this move, adding in Blood Path Immortal Gu to disguise his own bloodline. Initially, he had used this against Wu Clan, disguising as Wu Yi Hai and mixing into the righteous path. But before Fang Yuan got happy, the 4 other lights appeared on the gatehouse. These 4 lights represented the power of the other 4 Xiangs. Fang Yuan was slightly surprised. Earlier, he had allowed Bai Ningbing to enter first in order to inspect the blue light. After he flew in, he managed to deceive the blue light, but to think that the other 4 Xiangs unleashed their power. Boom! The gatehouse shook. Fang Yuan was pushed out of the light by a strong force. Familiar Face cannot deceive it. Fang Yuan's heart shook slightly. Heaven surveying 5 Xiangs. This strong force that had once taken leadership of Southern Border's Gu immortal world had displayed its immense power. Qi Clan's Gu immortals all sighed in huge relief, great joy appeared on their faces. Fang Yuan's actions were simply too shocking, but this result was the best for them. So close, Fang Yuan could not get in. We have hope. This way, Fang Yuan is kept outside, we only need to deal with Bai Ningbing. Her Bai Xiang killer move is troublesome, but our Qi Xiang true inheritance is not weak either. Fang Yuan focused as he looked at the gatehouse. Indeed, he had underestimated the gatehouse. Or rather, Shadow Sect and Bai Ningbing's information was not sufficient regarding this gatehouse. To deceive it, Familiar Face was not enough. Fang Yuan did not want Bai Ningbing to explore it alone. She was unreliable, and even if she was reliable, she could not deal with Qi Clan's Gu immortals alone. Even though Fang Yuan had encountered an obstacle earlier, his determination to get in had not wavered. Qi Xiang, Bai Xiang, Shui Xiang, Ni Xiang, Qi Xiang, these are the heaven-surveying 5 Xiangs. This gatehouse was created by all 5 of them, their power was fused into one. Fang Yuan went into rapid contemplation. Qi Xiang, Bai Xiang, Shui Xiang, Ni Xiang, and Qi Xiang, they were in Qi Path, Ice Path, Blood Path, Earth Path, and Food Path respectively. 1. Fang Yuan had high attainment in Blood Path and Earth Path, he was confident. In terms of Food Path, even though his attainment level was not high, Fang Yuan had Spectral Soul's true inheritance, it contained the original Food Path inheritance in this world. With such a foundation, Fang Yuan had an immensely deep amount of information to work with. His Qi Path and Ice Path attainment levels were very low. But Ice Path was not a problem, he had Bai Ningbing's Bai Xiang true inheritance that was used to deceive the blue light already. So, my only obstacle is Qi Xiang's power. Divine brilliance flashed in Fang Yuan's eyes. Fang Yuan did not have Qi Path attainment level or sufficient Qi Path inheritances, because it was already on the decline for a long time. No issue, I have the light of wisdom. Fang Yuan wanted to use the light of wisdom to force his way through. Qi Clan's Gu immortals conversed. What is he doing? He seems to be deducing, didn't Heavenly Court announce it, this demon has very extraordinary wisdom path methods. He, it is useless, how can he deduce the 5 Xiang's arrangements in such a short time? Clan's Gu immortals were very confident about this. They had tried to break the power of the 5 Xiang's long ago, but they had no success. This was the failure of generations of Gu immortals that had tried time and time again. They had failed too many times against the 5 Xiang seal. How could Fang Yuan possibly succeed? Or maybe Fang Yuan's wisdom path methods are above us. But he is simply dreaming if he wants to deduce it now. This difficulty is like deducing an unknown immortal killer move that he has just seen for the first time in battle. He needs to deduce and unravel it. He is too naive. Fa shook his head. As he said that, his courage appeared again, his fear was fading. Boom! At the next moment, Fang Yuan attacked the gatehouse. The gate shook intensely, the expressions of Clan's Gu immortals also changed. This. The demon attacked, he actually attacked the gatehouse. He wants to destroy the teleportation entrance, does he not want to enter? He failed the deduction, so he got angry instead. Bam bam bam. As Fang Yuan attacked fiercely, the entire gatehouse started to shake. Clan's Gu immortals also shook as their footing became unstable, they were like candles in the wind. Shock and fear was shown on their faces, some even began to tremble. Once the gatehouse gets destroyed, they would lose their protection, it would be up to Fang Yuan whether he wants to kill or capture them. It must hold against him. Clan's Gu immortals were all praying in their hearts. Fang Yuan gradually stopped attacking. Clan's Gu immortals breathed roughly, they were all wet with sweat. The feeling of almost dying was too terrible, they had never been so nervous. But eventually, the gatehouse still remained standing. The demon did not succeed, great. Jin cheered, while the other Clan Gu immortals had joyful expressions on their faces. Fang Yuan glanced at them as he showed a mocking smile, oh. Why do you think I stopped? Saying so, he activated an immortal killer move, there was no flashy light or commotion, his entire body's aura underwent a profound and mystical change. Next, Fang Yuan landed and bathed in the blue light, easily gaining its acknowledgement and landing beside by Ningbing. Clan's Gu immortals were all dumbfounded, some opened their mouths and froze like statues. Shock was expressed on their faces, some beliefs in their minds had been completely shattered by Fang Yuan's success. This demon actually succeeded. This must be a dream. How can this be? How could he succeed in such a short period of time? Clan's Gu immortals felt incredibly confused, before a strong cold feeling entered their hearts. Fang Yuan's battle strength was ridiculously high, but his wisdom path attainment was even beyond the understanding of the Clan Gu immortals. Such a monster made even Heavenly Court without options. How could they deal with him? Gatehouse. Oh ancestor. This Fang Yuan is an outsider, he cheated. Kai screamed, his face was full of fear and also anger. But the gatehouse was silent, the 5 Xiang seal started to gather power. Soon, a strong aura emerged from the gatehouse as 5 lights started to shine brightly. Clan's Gu immortals saw this as their faces turned to despair. They knew that the gatehouse had activated not because it exposed Fang Yuan's identity, but because the teleportation was beginning. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1638, Ultimate Treasure of the Bet. Chapter 1638, Ultimate Treasure of the Bet. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. The glaring light faded gradually. Fang Yuan looked around, the environment had changed, he was already inside the small world past the gatehouse. Bai Ningbing was beside him, their distance was the same as before the teleportation. Suddenly, Bai Ningbing's expression changed, mysterious information was transmitted into her mind. She looked at Fang Yuan, seeing that he was completely expressionless, she hesitated for a moment before saying, this is a public grotto heaven. The heaven surveying 5 Xiangs had once donated a portion of their grotto heavens each to form this place. The entire grotto heaven has 5 segments. They are not directly connected to each other, only the most central mountain range is shared among the 5. The treasure of this bet is at the center of the grotto heaven. As long as a Gu immortal is acknowledged by the gatehouse and is teleported inside here, they can go after the treasure. Along the way, the heaven surveying 5 Xiangs have also set up some resources. Stronger experts can try to take them away, but it is recommended that they do not take everything, so as to allow the resources to grow again in the future. Bai Ningbing obtained this information, but Fang Yuan did not. It seems that even though I used the light of wisdom to deduce a killer move and disguise my identity, it was too roughly made in a rush. Fang Yuan had a deep gaze as he looked afar. This means that we are very far from Qi clan's Gu immortals, and our areas are not connected. After disguising as a Baixiang descendant, I can only move about in this Baixiang grotto heaven region. Fang Yuan wanted to try using fixed immortal travel, but he did not know the appearance of Qi Xiang's territory. He had once killed Qi clan's Qi Zai, but this person only became a Gu immortal in the last 1,000 years. He did not enter this place or have any memories of it. According to my experience of getting past that gatehouse's inspection, this place has a very strict level of defense. Space path methods are likely to be restricted. I am afraid that even if I use fixed immortal travel, there is a low possibility of success. Fang Yuan looked at the situation now. Soon, he made up his mind. Let's go to the center. The entire public grotto heaven had 5 areas. They were all connected to the center, which contained the ultimate treasure of this bet. In that case, Fang Yuan would directly target it. He did not need to find Qi clan's Gu immortals. Not only would he waste time, he might not be able to find them after all. Once they got to the mountain range, they would meet Qi clan's Gu immortals anyway. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing flew rapidly, crossing mountains and valleys. Baixiang cultivated ice and snow path. This area was contributed by Baixiang grotto heaven. Thus, even though there were mountains and valleys here, they were covered in thick snow. It was a field of white. Look there! Bai Ningbing suddenly said. She was looking at a mountain. It was extremely steep and dangerous. At the peak, there were 100 ice mirror snow lotuses growing. This was a rank 6 immortal material containing ice path and wood path Dao marks. Near the snow lotus, there were many snow monsters and even desolate level snow monsters. If anyone went there and wanted to get the ice mirror snow lotuses, these snow monsters would stop them. In fact, Fang Yuan had discovered it long ago. He only took a glance before flying away with Bai Ningbing. Even though these desolate level snow monsters were not his match, Fang Yuan did not want to waste time here. He headed straight for the center of the public grotto heaven. Ice mirror snow lotus, 100 years profound ice, 1,000 years profound ice, mystical frost water, heaven craft divine jade. Along the way, Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing saw many resource points. Even though they were small to mid-sized resource points, they had plentiful storage. The deeper they went, the more valuable the resource points in the grotto heaven. Of course, the beasts or plants defending them were also increasingly stronger. The 5 Xiangs had specially created this arrangement to test their descendants. Even though Fang Yuan's current strength was enough to sweep through everything, he ignored these small benefits in front of him. His mind was completely on the center of the mountain range. Howl! Howling of beasts could be heard continuously as they emerged from the valleys to attack Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing. They were jade frost antelopes. The large ones were huge like palaces, the small ones were the size of 3 houses. Their eyes were fully jade green in color without irises. Their horns curled upwards. Even without wings, they could float and travel in the air. Each time they jumped, their hooves would emit white frost that would produce a clear chiming sound. These jade frost antelopes appeared very peculiarly. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing's expressions quickly changed. Fang Yuan snorted as he waved his hand, grabbing a fan that appeared out of nowhere. Immortal killer move, Summer Fan. Whoosh! Summer Fan whipped up strong winds that turned into tornadoes. They resembled winds but were actually filled with Time Path's power. The beasts that approached with a great momentum were engulfed by the winds and rapidly died. Their corpses fell from the sky like dumplings, crashing onto the snow and creating loud noises. This large group of jade frost antelopes died in an instant. Not just that, Fang Yuan's fan also caused the snow mountain below him to crumble, creating a huge crater filled with rocks. Fang Yuan flew down rapidly, slamming down as the rocks scattered. He looked at a huge rock wall and inspected the aura on it, his expression turning cold. There was a Gu formation here that Fang Yuan destroyed. It had the style of Qi path. It seems that the restriction of 5 independent regions cannot restrict those Gu immortals from Qi clan. Fang Yuan said to Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing nodded. Understandable, they have already been coming here so many times, they must have a deep understanding of the place. A lot of the 5 xiangs restrictions cannot stop them anymore. This also means that our journey is not going to be smooth. Fang Yuan smiled coldly. Qi clan's Gu immortals are trying to obstruct us, they must be trying to delay for time to obtain the treasure first. We will not stay here, we will move rapidly. The two continued to fly. Along the way, as Bai Ningbing had expected, many beast groups obstructed them. But these beast groups were all slaughtered easily by Fang Yuan's methods, they could barely delay his advancement. Fang Yuan's methods are truly terrifying. Our beast tides are simply thin as paper. No, he is simply killing them like killing ants. This is too scary. They are coming, they are near the central mountain range. Don't panic, there is a layer of defense at the mountain range, there is an immemorial desolate beast there. 3. The defenses were broken through. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing are arriving. Qi clan's Gu immortals continued to converse. The atmosphere was tense. When Fang Yuan arrived, Qi clan's Gu immortals were all panicking, their nervousness could be felt from afar. The area that stored the treasure was very obvious. Fang Yuan could see it the moment he entered the central mountain range. At the peak of the highest mountain, there was a palace. It was decorated in the same style as the gatehouse. This was an immortal Gu house. Fang Yuan successfully got into the immortal Gu house. He saw that at the center of the hall, there were 5 Qi clan Gu immortals sitting around the ultimate treasure. Next, his gaze turned towards the treasure of the bet. This mysterious treasure was a white crane. This white crane has 1 leg, it was covered in snow-white feathers that had no dust or dirt on it. Its long beak was red in color, its wings were tucked in as its eyes were shut tight. Fang Yuan's brows furrowed rapidly, he could tell that this white crane was extraordinary. It was not a real living being, it was also not an immortal Gu, yet it emitted a rank 9 aura. Amazing! Fang Yuan laughed. So the ultimate treasure of the bet is a rank 9 killer move. Fang Yuan's laughter made the Qi clan Gu immortals shudder. They were fearful and also furious. Qi clan had painstakingly protected this ultimate treasure of the 5 xiangs bet, but an outsider was here now trying to take it. Qi clan has already treated the treasure as their possession. Fang Yuan wanted to take it, it meant that the great animosity between Qi clan and Fang Yuan was unresolvable. Fang Yuan's gaze was cold, he did not speak, he pointed his finger as a sword light flew out, attacking a Qi clan Gu immortal. The 5 Qi clan Gu immortals had instilled their wills into the white crane killer move, they did not move and allowed the sword light to approach them. At the crucial moment, the 5 lights of the hall shined as the sword light was dispelled soundlessly. As expected. Fang Yuan felt no surprise. This hall could gather the power of the entire public grotto heaven, it was also the place where the 5 xiang seal was the strongest. With this power overseeing the area, Fang Yuan and Qi clan's Gu immortals could not fight each other. Of course, Fang Yuan could act forcefully, but he had to suppress the heaven surveying 5 xiang's power, he would also cause great damage to the entire public grotto heaven. No wonder Qi clan's Gu immortals are not moving. But since they have the qualification to refine this ultimate treasure, so can I. Bai Ningbing had her own thoughts, she got close to the killer move. Next, she mimicked the 5 Gu immortals from Qi clan as she sent her own will into it. The 5G clan Gu immortals had nervous expressions while Bai Ningbing's body shook. She shouted to Fang Yuan, "Hurry up." Even without her reminder, Fang Yuan had already arrived beside her. He instilled his will into the killer move as he understood the entire situation. At the same time, some information originating from Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable also entered his mind. People of the future, I am Ben Jia Sun, also known as Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable. When exploring the immemorial White Heaven, I by chance found a mysterious existence. It was like the heavenly spirit of a grotto heaven. It was incredibly agile. I only managed to capture it after spending a lot of effort. After researching it, I found that it was incredibly profound. It involved the deepest mysteries of this world. It corresponded with the details in the latter half of the Legends of Renzu. I temporarily named it the Natural Heavenly Spirit. It could not be brought out of White Heaven or placed into one's grotto heaven. It was filled with heaven's will that was constantly replenished at all times. Even I could not use my human will to refine it forcefully. After thinking long and hard, I found a solution. I forcefully condensed it and created an immortal killer move. I called it Heaven Form. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1639, Contest over Heaven Form. Chapter 1639, Contest over Heaven Form. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Heaven Form. Fang Yuan was surprised, but soon understood what happened. Everything was clear now. Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable was an otherworldly demon. He was skilled in Space Path and created Theft Path. He also had great ability in Refinement Path. His entire life was dedicated to finding a way to leave the Gu Master World and return to his homeland. He was the richest venerable. He searched for immortal materials all around the world and refined many immortal Gu. He had also traveled the most, having explored almost the entire 5 regions and 2 heavens. One day when exploring White Heaven, he by chance found a mystical existence. After searching on it, he named it Natural Heavenly Spirit. Even with his demon venerable strength, he could not refine the Natural Heavenly Spirit. It was not hard to understand this. According to Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable's words, this Natural Heavenly Spirit could not be brought out of immemorial White Heaven, and inside White Heaven, it was replenished by Heaven's will endlessly. When Gu immortals refine immortal Gu, they have to use their own will to get rid of the wild will in the immortal Gu, eventually refining it into their tool. Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable wanted to refine the Natural Heavenly Spirit. Even though the steps were different, in essence it was the same. The Demon Venerable's will was strong, but against the Natural Heavenly Spirit filled with Heaven's will, that was constantly replenished, he could not succeed. Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable failed but was not dejected. Man was the spirit of all living beings. He found a method, that was to combine the Heavenly Spirit with other Gu worms to form a rank 9 immortal killer move. This made Fang Yuan think of the ghostly concealment killer move that he had. It was also a rank 9 killer move. It was paired with divine concealment. Even though Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable had used it long ago, these 2 moves still remained until now. This seemed to be a specialty of Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable. The problem was, even if Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable found a way to turn the Natural Heavenly Spirit into a rank 9 immortal killer move Heaven Form, he could not manipulate or use it. Because he did not manage to refine the Natural Heavenly Spirit. But this was part of Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable's plan. He knew that he could not refine the Natural Heavenly Spirit in a short period of time, therefore he turned the Heavenly Spirit into an immortal killer move. This way, the Natural Heavenly Spirit would be replenished with Heaven's will at a far lower rate. After Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable created Heaven Form, he did not use it. Before he vanished mysteriously, he left behind many Thieving Heaven true inheritances. He did not forget Heaven Form either. Heaven Form killer move has not been truly refined. I cannot complete it alone. It needs a long period of time and generations of wills to cleanse. One day, it will be truly refined by a Gu immortal. By then, it would be usable. Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable also said that even though he left this killer move behind, it could not be controlled and was not a Thieving Heaven true inheritance, it needed more work from people in the future, it was only half a Thieving Heaven true inheritance. Fong Yuan could deduce the future developments himself. One day, when the heaven surveying 5 Xiangs explored immemorial white heaven, they happened to find this half-thieving heaven true inheritance. Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable had said it clearly already, this rank 9 killer move could only be used by one person, because all 5 Xiangs wanted it, they argued and did not manage to come to a consensus, due to their internal conflict, their group fell apart. The 5 Xiangs tried but just the 5 of them could not refine this killer move, eventually, they set up the bet and agreed to use this to decide the owner of the immortal killer move. Time passed mercilessly, countless events occurred throughout the ages. Eventually, the 5 Xiangs died, generations of Gu immortal descendants of the 5 Xiangs appeared and disappeared. Until today, Qi clan obtained the decisive advantage, and after years of hard work by their predecessors, they were finally about to succeed. But Fong Yuan interfered. It was understandable why the Qi clan Gu immortals were so furious and filled with hatred. Since the first generation of the 5 Xiangs, they had worked so hard throughout the ages, their efforts were finally about to bear fruit, and now, he was here to snatch it away. How shameless! Too shameless, too despicable. These emotions were the fuel that Qi clan was using to face Fong Yuan at the moment. Fong Yuan was only a rank 8 Gu immortal, they believed that as long as they obtained the rank 9 killer move, they would be able to defeat Fong Yuan, or at least, make him wary of their battle strength, they would be able to negotiate. Fong Yuan came to Bai Ning Bing's side as he instilled his will into the heaven form killer move. Inside the heaven form killer move, there was a lump of stubborn heaven's will that remained steady as a fortress, having the greatest defense. Below this heaven's will fortress were countless wills. A vast sea of wills. The bet had been undergone time and time again, a large number of Gu immortals had left their wills behind. There were strong rank 8 Gu immortals like the 5 Xiangs, there were also rank 7 elites like Ni clan's Gu immortal Ni heir. Such an accumulation was not strange. But what made Fong Yuan surprised was that these wills were not moving, they seemed dead like rocks, staying completely still. Only these newly entered wills were moving around like dragons, fighting above the sea of wills. 3 of the 5 Gu immortal wills of Qi clan went to deal with Bai Ning Bing's will. The remaining 2 attacked the heavens will fortress at the top. That is the central area of the killer move heaven form, whoever refines it will become the owner of heaven form. Demon Fong Yuan's will also came in. Persevere, we cannot relax now, we are about to succeed. This is the hard work of our Qi clan after countless years, for this moment, we have sacrificed too much, we cannot let the outsider Fong Yuan win. The Qi clan Gu immortals conversed, they spurred each other on, their morale was at its peak. Actually, they had no other choice, Fong Yuan's ruthless nature was known to all, if they did not manage to refine this rank 9 killer move, they would definitely end up in pitiful states. Without hesitation, Fong Yuan's will charged up. His will gathered into a lump and moved like a soaring dragon. The wills of 3 Qi clan Gu immortals cooperated, but they could not resist Fong Yuan's fierce assault, they were retreating continuously. They were just Qi path Gu immortals after all, while Fong Yuan had a huge advantage in this aspect. Persevere, regardless of the price we have to pay, we need to stall for time. Quickly attack and take down the central control area. As long as we can obtain this killer move, we might be able to kill this Supreme Demon King and eradicate him for good. We might be able to obtain a large number of venerable true inheritances. Even if we cannot stop him, we need to expend his will so that he cannot take down the heavens will fortress at the top. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1640, Trader Bai. Chapter 1640, Trader Bai. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Xianxia's Gu immortals were all standing together, resisting Fang Yuan desperately and courageously while feeling anxiety, fear and panic. Fang Yuan frowned. He found that his will could not be instilled endlessly. After reaching a certain amount, he could not send any more. Furthermore, when his will was instilled, his main body could only watch as the wills fought. Thus, his vast number of wisdom path methods could not work here. Heaven form was rank 9, while Fang Yuan's wisdom path methods were just rank 8 at best. Even if they could affect the killer move Heaven form, Fang Yuan did not want to try them. If he triggered the counterattack of the killer move, that would be a problem. Even if there was no counterattack, destroying Heaven form would also make him lose the greatest treasure here. Xianxia's Gu immortals needed Heaven form to deal with Fang Yuan and protect themselves. Fang Yuan also wanted Heaven form greatly, because he needed more strength to deal with the obstacles from Heavenly Court in the River of Time. Thus, both sides had to compete using the most basic form of attacking through their wills. In this regard, Fang Yuan was deeply experienced. After suffering at the hands of Mo Yao, he had practiced tirelessly to remove this weakness. It was his advantage now. Xianxia's Gu immortals were not Fang Yuan's match, but they had strength in numbers. Their cumulative will was much greater than Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing. As time passed, Fang Yuan's advantage grew, but he could not turn this advantage into victory. The Xianxia Gu immortals were resisting him stubbornly. They were outperforming themselves. In fact, Fang Yuan still had one worry left. It was Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing had once backstabbed him. She was an unstable element in this situation. But thankfully, the Heaven's Will fortress at the top was very strong and did not waver. No matter how Xianxia's Gu immortals attacked it, there were no traces of it breaking down. Fang Yuan started to feel troubled. At this rate, even if he got past or destroyed the Xianxia Gu immortals' wills, he might not have enough will left to deal with the Heaven's Will at the center. Time and again, Xianxia's wills retreated while Fang Yuan's will moved like a dragon, coiling around Xianxia's wills, encircling them. Xianxia's wills were shocked. If Fang Yuan destroyed their encircled wills, they would be in deeper trouble. They would not be able to stop Fang Yuan from leaving. Thus, the wills that had just dispersed gathered together again as they charged at Fang Yuan. Bai Ningbing, block them. Fang Yuan rapidly ordered. Bai Ningbing's will was like an ice wall. It stabbed into the battlefield, but it defended Xianxia's wills as it started to attack Fang Yuan. Xianxia's wills were greatly shocked. At the crucial moment, Bai Ningbing had betrayed him. Fang Yuan's will was caught off guard by Bai Ningbing. He was very angry. Xianxia's wills observed for a moment and became very happy. They attacked Fang Yuan from another direction. Fang Yuan's will continued to reduce in size. He had to give up on taking down Xianxia's wills. Bai Ningbing, you traitor, I will not forgive you. Fang Yuan's will roared, but the outcome was decided. He had to escape with his remaining will. Fang Yuan, with your personality, after getting Heaven form, won't you deal with me? I am the descendant of Bai Xiang. Heaven form killer move is my fortuitous encounter. Ha ha ha. Bai Ningbing's will laughed maniacally. This is a great chance. After defeating you here, my entire life will become dazzling and hopeful as a result. 1. Bai Ningbing did not want to let Fang Yuan's will off. She chased after him. Fang Yuan's will could only escape. What are you all waiting for? Come and help. Bai Ningbing's will roared at Xianxia's wills. Xianxia's wills were also heavily damaged. After thinking for a bit, Xianxia's will shouted, don't move, there might be a trap, let them fight it out. Fang Yuan's will was attacked by Bai Ningbing's will and was terribly damaged. It was much smaller than Bai Ningbing's will now. Eventually, she encircled him and fought until he was completely exterminated. To think that the demon Fang Yuan would be the first to fall. No matter how vigilant he was, he could not defend against an internal threat. Ha ha ha, this is the rise of our Qi clan. This is a great opportunity. Let's go, we must exterminate Bai Ningbing's will too. Xianxia's wills attacked again. Even though Bai Ningbing's will resisted stubbornly, 2 fists could not rival 4 palms, she was eventually wiped out as well. We succeeded. Heaven form is ours. Qi Clan's wills were drowning in joy. Now that they had no enemies left, they gathered and attacked the Heaven's Will fortress. Boom! At once, an explosion occurred at the Heaven's Will fortress. A large amount of Heaven's Will gushed out like uncaged beasts, attacking Qi Clan's wills. All along, this Heaven's Will had been defensive in nature. Qi Clan's wills were deceived and forgot that it could move freely. Heaven's Will's retaliation was a huge surprise to Qi Clan's wills. They suffered huge losses. How can there be so much Heaven's Will? Impossible. Heaven's Will is crafty, it deceived us of its strength. I am unresigned. Quickly resist it, we cannot afford to lose. Qi Clan's wills were determined and went all in. From a dangerous situation, they gradually stabilized it and eventually managed to gain the advantage over Heaven's Will. When there was little Heaven's Will left, the core was exposed, awaiting its new owner. We finally won. A moment later, Qi Clan's wills were about to cry from joy. They only had a bit of will left, but Heaven's Will was finally gone. I'm afraid not. Suddenly, Fang Yuan's will appeared again. Qi Clan's wills were shocked, they started shouting. You were already eliminated, right? Impossible. You already used up your will. Normally, you will need 1,000 years before you can send your will in again. Did you unravel this rank 9 killer move? No way, this is a rank 9 killer move originating from thieving heaven demon Venerable. Fang Yuan's will snickered, but he did not explain, he attacked. Qi Clan's wills were like tiny rabbits. Fang Yuan attacked them like a fierce tiger, easily getting rid of them without much obstruction. And next, Fang Yuan's will replaced Heaven's Will and went into the core area. He was the final victor. Opening his eyes, he saw the 5 Qi Clan Gu immortals escaping in a panic. Fang Yuan did not stop them. This immortal Gu house and public blessed land had the 5 Xiang's arrangements. They would definitely stop him if he attacked. Bai Ningbing stood by Fang Yuan's side motionlessly. She did not have any intentions of escaping. Everything that happened was part of Fang Yuan's plan. He purposely orchestrated a show, having Bai Ningbing betray him. He wanted to deceive not just Qi Clan's Gu immortals, but also Heaven's Will. Fang Yuan had much more experience against Heaven's Will than Qi Clan's Gu immortals. He deduced that Heaven's Will had a lot of battle strength remaining. Even if he defeated Qi Clan's wills, he would not be the match of Heaven's Will. Thus, he purposely backed off and hid away a portion of his will. Of course, Bai Ningbing's will was truly wiped out. The advantage of this was that other than tricking Qi Clan's Gu immortals, he could prevent her from doing anything at the most crucial moment. The wills of Qi Clan's Gu immortals were already weakened by Fang Yuan earlier. Because they were facing huge problems and pressure, they were unable to see through Fang Yuan's plot. It was difficult indeed. When wills thought about things, they would be expended. The smaller the will, the less it could think. Qi Clan's Gu immortals also had to ensure that they had enough strength left to deal with Heaven's Will. The outcome was as Fang Yuan predicted, he was the final winner. Heaven form was under Fang Yuan's control. At this moment, he did not inspect, he turned to look at Bai Ningbing with a deep gaze. Oh Bai Ningbing, are you really not going to run? Fang Yuan's eyes burst out with killing intent. Bai Ningbing's value had been squeezed out, she was not like shadow sex members, she was not under Fang Yuan's control. Since he obtained heaven form, it was time to settle this problem. The atmosphere was tense, Fang Yuan's killing intent was rising. They were about to fight at any moment. Evidently, Fang Yuan was not someone Bai Ningbing could defeat at the moment. Even though the killer move by Xiang was a powerful move that had once terrorized southern borders Gu immortal world, Bai Ningbing's cultivation level was too low now, her foundation was far weaker than Fang Yuan. If they fought, Bai Ningbing would die for sure. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible.